Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Okay. Don't want closed caption. Okay. Well, I'm trying something new, Julie. We're live streaming at the same time, so this is all new to us. Let's see where we go with it.
Okay, I'm muted, I know.
Can hardly hear you there, Rackley.
Where are we live streaming?
Why? We're on Facebook.
Where? Oh, Facebook.
Facebook
Awesome.
and maybe YouTube.
Okay. We're gonna be famous.
Me.
I'd like to be famous. Superstar.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't ever be famous. I'd like to
In my own world, I'm famous.
close captions here.
How you doing, Julie?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I got this new microphone I was gonna test, but I guess we're live streaming.
Joan.
Hi.
Hey.
Now we are live streaming this, so if you want to turn off your videos, please do.
Sure.
Otherwise, you'll be there for the world to see. Oh, is that new, Rackley? Looks like the one I have, sort of. Can't hear it. Oh, I think you just made a noise there, Rackley.
I'll save it for another time.
Oh, we can hear you now. Oh, yeah. You went to the other. Yeah. Okay.
I'm tired of holding this thing. So,
okay.
You know.
I understand.
It looks weird when I'm sitting in front of a computer with a microphone. But I like weird, though. I like looking weird. It's my thing.
Okay. We'll just let that sit there.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we'll start the preamble stuff. Okay. So people generally come a little bit later, so that's okay. So welcome those. We are live streaming. So if you would like, please keep your videos off. If you don't want to be live streamed, it doesn't matter to us. We can still answer questions without seeing you. So, all right. Now let's see. Might have to stop this. Okay, I'm not sure I can do that. All right. Share. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're trying some new stuff and trying to figure this out. So please bear with us while we have these technical glitches as we work our way through. Marlene, if you'd like, we're live streaming. So you're invited to turn your video off so you don't have to have people see you. So, but right now they should be just seeing the screen. Okay. So we have a new blog that we've just, well, about a month or so ago, and there's lots of interesting articles, astrology, spiritual things, memes, blah, 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 such and such. So if you're looking for something uplifting, it's a great place to go. So check it out. Got a few things coming up this month, and we're going to just get into that. So last night we had our very first live stream on Facebook. It was aside from the techie things that kind of went a little wrong, we did a great job. And we had a lot of new people. So that's something we're going to be running again next Tuesday. So if you're interested, you can by all means come and participate in that. And we are giving mini readings to people. And on the 20th, we have our monthly messages from Spirit from our developing CFA's mediums. So most everybody that's here tonight has been to this. So we invite people to come on out to this and to help our students spread their wings and grow in their confidence to be able to give readings to people that they don't know. So you guys are great. You get a reading, they get to practice. It's a win-win for everybody. So if you're free next Wednesday night, come on by and let's support them as they grow and develop their confidence. Now, this is also something new. A lot of people don't want to wait to the psychic fair, yet they may not want to book a full hour reading with me. So on the 27th, they're going to be 20-minute readings, and it's only for 2 hours. So obviously it's limited number, but if you want more than what you might get during one of these type events, but not quite an hour, this might just fit the bill. So that's the shop page is up on the website. If you're interested, go check that out. And again, I think there's 5 people that I can do in one night, because of the time thing. And on Wednesday, August 3rd, we have some of the mediums, well, all the mediums, psychic mediums that would be participating in the psychic fair. I think it's on the 20th of August. So it'll be Ashley, Reverend Sheila, and Irma. And most of you who've been coming for some time, you're familiar with all of them. And of course, myself, I'll be reading as well. Now here, this is also 20-minute readings, but this is a whole day event. This is from 1 o'clock to 4, so I guess that's not the whole day, but it's a good part of the day. And you can book more than one reading with different medium back to back with somebody, or whatever works for you. It's a great opportunity to get questions answered. Again, these little short readings that we give are wonderful, but they're not quite as in-depth as this would be. So if you're interested in having a psychic reading, again, that shop page is up, and check it out. And there's bios and little tidbits about each of the readers as well there. And on August the 9th, Ashley, who's one of the readers, she runs a monthly tarot development class. Now, this is for anybody. You don't have to have taken her program, but if you have, you're obviously invited. All you have to do is have an open mind, a tarot deck, and come on in and, see what you can learn. She's a great teacher. She doesn't teach you to read by the book, though she does go over and into that. But she teaches you more to intuitively read, and she supports you that way as you're learning to read the tarot cards. It's a great, great program. And on August the 10th, this is the second time we've run this, it's Dreams in the Subconscious. She actually goes into a lot of detail about dreams and how the subconscious works its way through the dream, the different types and states of dream. And then at the end, she time permitting, she will ask people what maybe some recurring dreams that they have, and she'll intuitively decipher that for you. So it's a very interesting event. And, there are some very standard dreams a lot of us have: falling, being chased, or teeth falling out. Those are all really, really common ones. And she does cover some of those and a lot of other ones as well. So if you have an interest in dreams and, what that whole process is, she covers it quite in-depthly and in a fun workshop. The Psychic Fair, as I mentioned, will be on Saturday, August the 20th from 1 to 4. So I won't talk to that because we already did. And on the 24th, we're doing another one of what we're doing tonight. So again, I won't talk to that because you'll be participating. And these are, again, the readers. Okay, so let's close that down. Okay, so how it works tonight is this is live streaming. So if you have your video feed on, then people are going to see you. So I invite you to turn that off. Unless, you don't care, it doesn't matter either way. If you want to leave it on, that's fine. But again, we're just letting you know that it is live streaming and that's your option to turn it off to protect your identity. So the panel tonight is Irakli, Julie, and myself. Now, Irakli and Julie have both taken the 8-week program. But the nice thing about it is they've been doing it way, 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 way before they took my program. That's just how they happened to meet up with me and why they're able to participate in these things. So they've got a lot of experience between them. And I've been doing it I think forever, pretty much in a day. So we all have differing ideas and understandings on spiritual things. And that's why we have a panel. I might have an understanding of it one way, Julie another, Rackley another. So there's no right or wrong answers. They're just answers and what our understandings are. So if you find that you think that what we're sharing with you might be BS, you don't agree, that's okay. That just still validated what you understand. And if you resonated, well, you've learned something new. So we're anywhere in the middle as well. So we don't know it all. We're going to do our best again by our understanding of how it all works. And no questions. Okay, no questions off limit, but it has to be spiritual topics and not personal questions, please. The idea is that we share information to people that everybody can benefit from. We ask that you type your question into the chat feature, and we'll go through them as they come in. And again, to the best of our ability, we'll answer it. So start typing your questions. And anybody have any questions ahead of time, like about the procedure or anything before we actually get into answering questions? Marlene, you look like you have one. No, you good? You're good. Okay, so we're just waiting for questions. And I'll start. We're kind of out of order. I'm not sure we can reorder. Oh, we can. Okay, so it'll be myself, Rackley, and Julie. That'll be the order and how we answer the questions. So we're just waiting for people to type in questions.
That's a first. First. Yeah, usually it's like
Screaming in there.
can't wait. People can't wait to ask questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess everybody knows everything then.
Well, that makes our night easy.
Yep. The whole world is awoken and we live in a world of love and caring.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
So Nathan has asked if any type of spiritual question.
Yeah, as long as it's a spiritual question, we're going to do our best to answer them. Okay, so Tiffany and Chris, what is the significance of a full moon tonight, and how will this help a person just coming into the gift? Well, I really don't know a lot about astrology, so I can't talk very much to that. I know it's called like a buck moon or something like that. It's something special because Tamara sent me stuff, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't get a chance to read it. So maybe Rackley might be a little better to speak to that. Julie, I don't know if you have some astrology information that you know. I personally don't know a lot about astrology. So Rackley, you want to give it a whirl?
I can do a little better than that. Definitely. This full moon is in Cancer. So what are full moons about? First of all, we need to understand that full moon is about releasing. It's about releasing, and the moon is all about emotions. So it's about releasing emotions. It's not about turning into a werewolf. So you can feel full moon energy, the effects of it, probably 5 days, I would say, before and after the full moon. If you think about it, we're made up mostly of water. The moon kind of keeps the tides in check on the planet, right? So if it's able to influence the tides so much, and we're made out of water, like mainly out of water, what is 80%, whatever it is, then what is there to think that it doesn't influence us? It just comes out in emotional ways. It's emotion. It's not werewolf. So there was a new moon at the end of June. A new moon is a time where you set your intentions. And then it's been like 2 weeks till this full moon. And essentially, this whole time, we are working on releasing the things that don't serve us anymore. That's what the past 2 to 3 weeks have been about. Okay? New moon to the full moon, we're releasing. It's given us, life is manifesting in ways that gives us opportunity to release what doesn't serve us anymore so that we can grow and move on. Now, what is it? Cancer. Yeah. And then There's a Capricornian involvement here, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but every full moon helps everyone grow spiritually by allowing you to release all the crap that's inside, which then naturally promotes your spiritual growth. That's to answer your question.
Okay. If you want, I can read the post that I didn't get a chance to. This is from Tamara. This is what she does. She's very, very gifted in astrology. So I can read this to you, but I don't have knowledge of it. Orakli just gave you some. So the full moon, as Orakli said, is a Capricorn. The full moon is
Oh, it's a
exact.
Capricorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in Cancer season. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay. The full moon is exact today at 21 degrees Capricorn. What does this mean to you? The Cancer Capricorn area of your chart should be very active now, completing a process that began at least 2 weeks ago. You've been dealing with certain issue for around a month, and your progress or understanding of it could be accumulating now, helping you to make your mind about how to proceed. You reach a personal conclusion through feedback, or this issue reaches a completion in the following areas of your life. Now, I can touch really briefly, because it's not that long, on each of the signs. Cancer Capricorn, and their ascendants. The fruition of personal project, especially regarding appearance of your role in the world, your interaction with the public, through clients, business partners, good friends, significant others, stakeholders, and romantic committed relationship. Leo and Aquarius and their ascendants. Your work environment.
You don't have to read all that. That's very specific, Joanne, to
Okay, well, that's all I know.
placements. Yeah, that's too deep. Basically, I hope you heard my answer. Julie.
Okay, what do you have, Julie?
Well, no, I was just going to add more just on cycles of the moon. And Orakli did touch on, normally, like with the full moon, it is a fruition of the intention that you set at the new moon. A lot of people are doing new moon ceremonies where they'll set an intention specifically for the time coming up, whether it's a manifestation or some sort of goal that they have. And then on the full moon is the time to release. So if there's anything emotionally or people, things like forgiveness that you want to do, you can also, it's a good time to do a release ceremony. You can write things down and then burn it. You can write it down and just bury it, something like that, under a full moon. It's also a good time if you are planting any kind of plants, or, seed season is over, but full moons are good for that. Yeah, I think that's really all I wanted. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing you can do with the full moon is set out a glass of water to let it sit in the full moon, and then you can sip the water the next day. And some people just find it's a good energy balancer. And you can also clean any of your crystals or stones that you have in the light of the full moon. I often put them on a windowsill where I know the moon is going to be, the moonlight will pass over. So it's a good way to cleanse.
Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so we're going to move on to Nathan. So can anyone speak to the different roles between angels, spirit guides, and your higher self? Well, they're all to help us. That's what they have in common. Angels are spiritual beings that have never, quote, had a physical life. So they've not lived as we are living. Now, they can take on a human form to interact with us and play a short role, but they don't normally live out a lifetime. Spirit guides, I like to call spirit guides just everything other than the angels, pretty much. So the helping spirits, and that can be a wide variety of things. It can be fairies, it can be unicorns, it can be our ancestors, it can be ascended masters, all these things and more can be spirit guides. And our higher self is very personal, obviously. It's what I've been told is it's our soul. It's our soul. It's our true essence of who we are and our connection to spirit. So hold on here. So that the different roles are all here to help. Obviously, our higher self is the most personally connected to us, but we're also not as easy to hear it because we are that connected to it. So it takes more effort to do so. It takes effort to talk to the angels and helping spirit too. We have to be open to it and invite them into our lives. And so take the time to listen. So they're all here to support us in various ways. We could talk hours about how that could look, but just know that they're here to help us, invite them to help you, and the magic starts there. Go ahead, Heracles.
This is totally your forte of a question, though. So, okay, let me try to give you something that Joanne didn't say. Everybody connects to them differently, I would say. Some people connect to them more than others. For example, I'll give you an example. I wanted proof that angels exist. Okay. I really wanted proof. It was a thing. It was a thing for me. Like angels, yeah. And I want proof. So I, for example, just voiced out loud and I said, angels, if you exist, show me a sign. And angels like to show up in signs with like feathers or like shiny things, right, Joanne?
Mhm.
Like coins. And so I said, show me dimes as a sign that you exist. And then what happened was finding dimes exactly when I needed the angels in weird places that like on my bathroom sink, or I open my back door in the car and it's like right there in front of my face, like weird places everywhere. So the signs can't get any better than that. So maybe you can try the same. You can ask for yourself, ask your angels and guides to tell you or show you things, and they will.
Yeah, it's really important. Sorry, Jill. It's really important you invite them into our lives. We have free will, and they can't influence us unless it's a life or death situation without our permission. So go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, I was just going to say the thing that I found in my experience, I also have done a number of courses and worked with shamans and doing shamanic journeying. And the focus there is very much on spirit guides. So whether it's a spirit guide, an ancestor, an animal spirit guide that you meet. And I found that was very specific to a shamanic journey. And then when I started doing the mediumship work, I was finding that's when the angels, the angelic realm came in, as well as souls that have crossed over. But as I've continued on with my studies and practice, everything now is just back and forth. It doesn't matter. I have angels showing up in the shamanic journeys. I've got the spirit guides showing up when I'm doing readings. So it's, and I don't always know who I am connected with. My intention going in is always that it's of the, I'm connecting with the spirit from the light and well-intentioned and things like that. Sometimes it's very clear who it is, but other times not so much. But I've just found it interesting. So a lot of, I've seen things where it will say very, black and white, that this is where you have spirit guides and this is where you have angels. And I think from my own experience and people I've spoken to, the more you practice, the more interweaving there is of the realms between what you do. And as far as the higher self, my experience is when you have that instant knowing or inner wisdom, to me, that's when I'm totally connected with my higher self, that there is a part of me that is sort of has all the knowledge that in all my lifetimes that I've gained, and and a memory of the Akashic, that every once in a while when you have that moment of clarity, to me, that's when the higher self is coming through. And intuition, when you get that little voice telling you to do something. I think that's inner higher self as well.
All right. Hopefully that answers your question. Arlene, gives you a little insight. Okay, so next. Oh, hold on. That was Nathan. Sorry. Marlene, you're next. Do spirits know about the world events like COVID, Ukraine, or absolutely? They know everything that's going on. And they don't interfere too much because this is just part of human evolution. It's part of us growing and learning and coming to new understandings. They will help us on an individual basis, again, as we ask them. What I'm being told is what we as humanity needs to do is not judge. That's one of our biggest downfall is that we are very judgy beings. They are not. They watch these things that let's use Ukraine, for example. I'm pretty sure most everybody here tonight is going to think it's pretty horrible what's going on there. And if you don't, okay, I'm not going to judge you, but I think most people don't like what's happening there. The angels, the higher spirits, our soul, all of these beings, they know the higher purpose of it. They know it's the growth of humanity. It's becoming into new awarenesses, new understanding. So they're not going to sit there, oh yeah, that's horrible. They're going, okay, they're getting it. There's change. That's good. That's what they wanted. And so they're not judging it like we're judging it. On the same hand, again, I will also say again, they do help us during all these experiences. So if you need help from our higher self, the angels, the helping spirits, call them, and they'll help you to make some sense out of what we are judging as horrific things and things that we don't like. Correctly?
So I hope nobody takes any offense to this point of view, but basically, I strongly believe in that. Unfortunately, what is happening because it's kind of supposed to happen. We can't have just, I guess it's all about balance on this existence, it's all about balance. You can't have constant up, you can't run constant hot or something. You can't go full tilt all the way. Essentially, from my understanding of theory, though, of spiritual theory, and that when it comes to, this is what I love about spirituality, because you are allowed to believe what you want, not this is how it is, so it's whatever it is for you. It's who you are, and usually all these catastrophic events that happen result in growth, and those people who sacrifice themselves is for the growth of the planet and the human race. So they know what is happening, and they knew what's going to happen, and nothing is a surprise. Trust me, even a lot of people on this planet knew what was happening probably too, long time before. Anyways, that's my answer.
Julie?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a huge topic of discussion in the groups and different forums that I'm involved in. And I mean, one person who I lean on heavily, Caroline Myss, MYSS, if people are familiar with her, she's done a lot of work on sacred contracts and archetypes. And she's done a number of courses online through the pandemic, addressing sort of specifically what's going on and what is is there a spiritual connection, meaning to it. And she is now basically calling this time the Great Transformation, and talks about how we need to remember that change and creation come from chaos.
Yeah.
which is one reason why human beings don't like change and we don't like change, and because it does cause, there's usually chaos going on in the world for that, or within our lives when that's happening. The other thing that's pointed out a lot is there are so many light workers, and light workers are people like Joanne, Irakli, myself, a lot of people doing astrology, tarot, who basically are here to bring more and more light and more spirit connected thoughts and beliefs into the world at this time. And if there's so many of us who've chosen to come here now, it sort of goes along with the theory that it is a spiritually planned thing, because we are here on purpose to help people to make the transition. People may have heard about, I saw there's a question in there about 4D, which I'm not sure of, but I've been hearing, like that we're moving from 3D into a 5D world, which I've certainly been feeling the shifts in that, where you are more connected, almost constantly connected in spirit world, yet you're dealing with the world here on a daily basis. And that's a challenge as well. But the thing with what's going on in the world, there is an illumination of the darkness happening as well. I mean, light has to be brought to the dark. And so we need to know where the dark is. And the dark is being highlighted. And Irakli touched on the balance. I mean, there's always light and dark. There is never going to be 100% light. That's not on this planet. But at least to bring it back into balance. And so that's a little comfort in these times. I know to people, I know for myself, what I do is I don't listen to CNN and I listen to Caroline Myss, because that's what helps keep me sane. So.
I want to just mention a vision that they gave me. I can't remember. I was talking to somebody, I think it was in the mini reading. I can't remember, just last week or the week before. And they were very concerned about all this negativity and this trauma and the energy that's floating around in the world. And Spirit gave me, and I was like blown away. They gave me an image of a nuclear bomb. So we all know what that is. You've got the big pillar and then you've got the balloon. And don't think nuclear war. That's the first thing I say. And they said, but so all of this pillar of our emotions, our trauma, our fears, it's the base of this mushroom of the nuclear blast. Up top, the umbrella, that mushroomy part, is spirit. And what's happening is these emotions, these negative emotions that we're putting out there on a universal way is billowing up just like a nuclear bomb to the top, and then spirit is transmuting it. So I was very inspired by that they're basically overseeing everything. They're allowing humanity the growth that's needed and necessary, but at the same time, they're managing it, and it's umbrellaed by goodness, by the universe, by positivity. So we, as Julie was just mentioning, we are in a huge flux of transition right now, but Spirit's got us. So hope that answers your question.
And I just want to say, I've just goosebumps head to toe
Yeah.
when Joanne was talking. So that's one of the signs I get when
when
Spirit is giving an affirmation. So
yeah, I was blown away when they said that to him. When they first started the nuclear bomb thing, I'm like, oh, that's kind of bad. And then they gave me the whole picture. Oh, that's actually really good. So anyway, hope that answers your question a little bit.
They give you some good stuff. They really do give you some really good visions.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to add one. I forgot now. They
That's
drop
what
it.
happens when
They
you
drop it, and
yeah. You have no idea how happy I see that happening to you guys too, because it's kind of embarrassing when it happens, but it's just part of when you work with spirit. Okay, so we have Tiffany and Chris. So what do you knew about, I have no idea what any of this means. So
Yeah, I looked at it.
Rackley,
What? Huh? I was trying to what?
Tiffany and Chris have a question here, and I have no knowledge of it. So what do you know?
What do you know about the Azes, also known as the light beings of the central sun? From my understanding, they are connected to. Okay. Whoa, very specific. Very specific. There are so many beings and mythologies, and this one is very. It's actually something that I don't know anything about either. Yeah, this one's unique for sure.
Yeah. So sorry we can't answer that question, but we don't pretend we know it all. We don't know it all. And Spirit's not giving me anything to share with you other than explore it. So if that's an interest of yours, do that. It's beyond our knowledge in this panel. So sorry, but it is what it is. Okay. So Michelle, do we get the choice to get to the reincarnate to? Okay, I think what you're saying. Do we get the choice to be able to reincarnate through 4Ds? I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're sort of in the process of, I think, aren't we going on to the 5D? So we're kind of transitioning to that. Some of us are transitioning. Julie was speaking to that a little bit. I think I'm in that process because I'm like so deeply rooted into spirit now. It's not that I don't know what the day is, but it's just seamless now. Okay. So I think there's more and more of us moving towards that. So as far as 4D, well, I really don't know what it is, but if you're here and we're going through it, then you're here to go through it. That's all I can speak to that. You wouldn't be here otherwise. Rackley?
I can definitely speak to this one. Do we get the choice to get to the resonance? Okay. Michelle, you worried about this? You probably I know you are, but you're probably in 4D right now. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Don't watch stuff on YouTube and some of those videos and they describe how magical it is and all this. In reality, the best way to gauge where you're vibrating is what are your intentions on a daily basis? What do you feel inside? What drives you? What drives you? Do you judge people when you look at them? Or do you look at them with love? When you see someone in hurt, what do you want to do? Do you want to help them? You know, that's when you have love in your heart, you're 5D. Welcome. That's it. Simple as that.
Okay, Julie, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's so many people talking about the transition. And again, like for me, like all I've heard is the 3D to 5D. And everyone does seem to have it. I mean, nobody knows. It's one of the mysteries. Like it's, but I know people who are having similar symptoms and different things. But it is, as Irakli says, if you can stay heart-based as much as possible. I mean, that's just a key to a good life all around. And it certainly keeps you in touch with spirit that way. But there's, I'm trying to think, Lee Harris, I think, is someone else who's doing some good talks on energy and things that are happening at this time. But I think that's the thing to know is like we're talking about, you know, spirituality, and what we are talking about, it has been called the great mysteries, you know, from the mystery schools going back thousands of years. So I think a lot of things you need to discern for yourself. So read information, watch videos, whatever you do, but run it through your own checking system. I mean, self discernment, I think, is our greatest. It's our greatest tool, along with our free will, which is power of choice. I think those two things go hand in hand and are both needed, especially when you're transitioning to the 5D, because it's always about making that choice. Are you coming from heart, or are you going into ego? Are you coming from heart, or are you going into ego? So
yeah, I'll talk to the 5D just a tiny bit more. A lot of you have been coming for some time, and you know that since about last September, I've been having severe eye problems. Spirit, now it's getting better, and that's a story to that. But Spirit did share with me that, and I've checked with quite a few of my other spiritual friends. Some of us that are doing that 5D transition were having physical ailments. Mine's manifested in eye difficulties, which, like I say, they're much better. When I'm on computer, I still keep these, but I'm able to go most of the day now without them. So there's huge improvements once I started to see what they wanted me to see. And it was about changing the eye vision in some way, was what they shared with me, to be able to see on a more spiritual way, I guess, in different planes and stuff. So again, it's going to transition differently for all of us, but for some of us, physical ailments are part of the package. So, if you're suffering different things, just Google 5D ascension symptoms, and I'm sure some of yours will show up there, because we are all on that journey, just at our own speed. Okay, hope that answers your question a little bit, Michelle. Okay. Robert Simmons talks, this is Tiffany and Chris. Robert Simmons talks about it, creator of the Book of Stones.
I think they're referencing their question about the
I was going to say, because it sounds like a statement, not a question. Okay, so George said, tips on blocking the negative energy everywhere. Okay, George, you've been to many events. You know about the whole protection bubble and the grounding and the connecting. That's all you need to do.
That's all I need to feel a bubble.
That's all you need to do, my friend.
Okay.
So based on your question, you haven't been doing it.
No.
Okay. What happens when you do these bubbles is the negative energies you don't want in your experience that aren't meant for you are reflected away. That's beautiful, because who needs more other people's stuff? This really comes into play when you go into like supermarkets and stuff. How many people here, and I bet everybody can say, when you go into a supermarket or shopping, you leave kind of, that's because you don't have your bubble up and you're absorbing all of these people's energies. And right now there's a lot of upset in the world. You have to do your bubbles. You've been there, you know how to do it. So George, start doing it. There is meditation on the blog that I spoke to earlier on how to do the protection. So if you haven't, I think a couple people here are new. If you haven't experienced one of my meditations where I walk you through, go on there, and it'll give you a great way to effectively ground yourself, protect your energy, and connect with spirit. Anybody else want to speak to that?
Thank you.
Awareness. It's so difficult to remember to shield yourself when you're in the midst of negativity, because all you're thinking about is like negativity, So I think it's like set a reminder on your phone. Make an experiment. They're saying put a reminder on your phone. I think you go to work or you go to some place that you don't like. You don't like the energy there. You don't like this. Is just you've been there for a while and you don't like it, and you wanna anyway. Set a reminder on your phone like an alarm, and then when the alarm goes off, protect yourself with the bubble. See if there's a difference. Bubble, no bubble. There you go.
I'll try it this weekend.
What I would add to that is, and I use actually more than I use the bubble, is calling in angelic protection. And I have found Like even yesterday, I had a disturbing phone call and I was sort of in the middle of something. And I just sat there, took a few minutes and just asked the angels to hold me through it, to support me, to allow me to do what I needed to do in the moment, and to sort of keep the weight of the negative news out of things, and to help me to deal with it when I was able to process and deal with it. So I do that like sort of in the moment when something happens. There's times when I might feel that there's negative energy coming towards me, whether psychically or something like that. Again, I'll call in the angelic protection. And it's almost like it's immediate for me. As soon as I call in, especially I call in Archangel Michael and Raphael, and it's
Instant.
like I feel the difference in the energy. The other thing is, and it's something that Spirit guided me to just shortly into the pandemic, which was not to listen to so much news, not to read so much. So to be aware enough. So it's not like I'm blocking it out and pretending things aren't happening, but I'm also not glued to the news and watching all the details, because it does. The energy coming from that, I mean, you're not only picking up the story, the negativity of the story, you're picking up the newscaster's energy and, everything else. So I've found by being very careful with my news and sort of just watching a little bit, and that's really helped. So I'm not sitting there with it sort of going around in my head all the time. And when it does come into my head, when I think of the Ukraine, I immediately go into a prayer, like just
Send love.
so that I'm not sitting there thinking about the horrors. I'm sitting there praying for the people who are dealing with the horrors and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's just always just trying to flip it. So it's, going back to the light with that.
Yeah. Again, ask the angels. I do what I call a set and forget. So I've been doing this for decades. So literally I can do it in a couple of seconds. But if I don't want to take the time, or I'm out in public, I'll go, okay, angels, invoke my set and forget, which part of that is the whole protection bubble and the grounding and the connecting and that. So they are doing the work for me. If, I don't want to sit there and like spend 5 minutes kind of zoning out, tuning in a supermarket. So the set, I call it set and forget, you could call it whatever you want. If you have an intention, it'll follow. So I'm invoking the angels. I'm doing the set and forget. It's putting out my protection. So George, that might help you.
I got one more thing to add, please.
Okay. Well, we need more questions, people. So that was the last one. So if you have more, type them in.
It keeps coming in and out. 1 second. We were just talking about set and forget. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to ask for help. No one can, okay, in the spiritual world, angelic world, and guide world, they're not really, right, Joanne? They're not really allowed to
That's right.
interfere in your life without your permission. That's why prayer, no matter who you pray to, which God, that's why it's so powerful. And it's all powerful because you're asking for help. Ask for help out loud.
There's three forms of manifesting. It starts in your head, obviously. You can speak it. That adds another level of manifesting. And writing it also adds even an additional layer to it. So you can amplify it by doing those three things. So,
was there a manifesting question?
No, but it's about manifesting the bubble, the energy, helping. And we're good.
Setting your intention.
Okay, so Nathan.
Thank you. They were all good. Thank you.
You're welcome, George. So what is a simple way of dealing with having visions of the future when you can't control it? Okay, first off, you can control it. You need to put up boundaries. If you are just being bombarded with stuff, you need to let spirit know, Okay, I'm interested in exploring this on my terms. I have an on-off, an open-close policy here. I will set the time aside at such and such. I'm open for information then. But if I'm in McDonald's and I takeout line waiting for my burger and fries, that's not the time to be giving me visions. So you need to be very clear around when you're working with spirit, especially if you are a person who part of your life purpose is to help people spiritually. Because you've got that commitment with the helping spirits already. So they're not encroaching on you because this is part of what you signed up for. But you have to do it. We are physical beings. We cannot be open all the time. And you need to not allow spirit to keep giving you visions when you're not open to it, unless it's like really, 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 really important. So I have these boundaries, but every now and again, spirit will come in outside of my boundary. And when they do, I know it's extremely important and I will follow through because they know that boundary is firm. And the only time they overstep it is when it's a really serious, important thing to take a look at. So you do have control of it. And you can tell spirit what you do and do not want to receive. For example, I will never give a message about death. Won't do it. That's a boundary that is not crossable, and they know it. So I will never get that. If you're, okay, thank you. So Nathan, here's part of your situation. You don't want boundaries. You, I'm being told, are addicted to the communication. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not being judgy. And so you're having the vision because you've invited them to give it to you. So the onus is now on you to put the boundary up. And they will respect it because you have an important goal, which you haven't even realized yet. And I'm not going to go there because they're not giving it to me other than that little tidbit. So you need to put the boundaries up for your own sanity. And you'll find your connection will get stronger because you're not connected all the time. It's not healthy to be that connected. Even I'm not that connected. I take downtime. Okay, so anybody want to speak to that?
I would say be careful what information you subject yourself to throughout the day. That's what I would say to you, because something tells me that has a influence to the visions that you see. That's it.
Hey, Julie?
Yeah. What I got was very clear is for you to connect and ask why you're receiving that specific vision. If they're giving you visions of the future, and as you say, like you can't control what's going to happen in the future, you just get the vision of it, ask them why you're given that specific vision, and and sit with that. You may find that there's something in there about preparing yourself, if it's on a personal level, even if it's on a global level, about something that's going to be happening globally. It could be a way that they're saying prepare yourself for it. But I think along with what Joanne is saying, if it's overwhelming and it's disturbing you, then certainly ask them to cut it down. But also, if something comes through, ask them, why are you receiving it? If they're giving it to you, they will be giving you, they'll be open to giving you information about it as well. So that's what I'd suggest.
You can accept your life's path or run away from it. No, I'm just kidding. Dive deeper, man. Dive deeper. Dive deeper, It's about the journey and not the destination. I like that. That's my new motto lately. It's about the journey and not the destination. It's the process that matters, because you're going to the same place either way. Going to the same place either way. Whether you're gonna get there running away from things, or you're gonna get there trying to figure them out, or you're gonna get there however you're gonna get there. Still gonna get to the same place, which is not here. Somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, okay then. Joanne just got
Left
disconnected.
the building.
So okay, she'll be back. By the time she's back, we'll just keep going. So here we go. I'll do the next one. Yeah, next time I will ask why. Okay, good. Nathan, glad that answers your question. Next, George
there-
D.
Well, there's Michelle before that.
Oh, was it?
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Have you guys personally explored remote viewing? We not as much as I would like to yet, but I'm sure it's on my path. And I'm a strong, firm believer in such a thing. It's definitely a skill, and it's definitely being used. Yeah, and it's like you can be anywhere in the universe. I've heard stories of military practices of remote viewing where they're literally like watching Russians in real time, or Russians watching everyone be watching everyone remote viewing. Yeah, it's deep. It's deep, but I think that comes later, much later in a spiritual journey, maybe like when you're done healing the people you have to heal and you got some spare time and all this mumbo jumbo. Yeah. Joanne, it's the question is from Michelle, and she asked, have you guys personally explored remote viewing?
I haven't on a great deal, but at nighttime, I know for sure I'm out astral projecting and.
Can't hear you, Joanne.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I got my computer problem back again. Not good. Okay. So what we're remote viewing. So I haven't personally explored it as when I'm awake, but I know I do go out of body experiences at dreams state. And those times I end up being extremely exhausted. I feel like I've slept. So it's not so much remote viewing, but it's kind of a similar sort of thing. You're kind of taking your consciousness somewhere else. So I really can't speak to it too much other than I know that it's totally doable. It's just not something that I'm really terribly interested in exploring in a big way. Julie, did you speak to it?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't. I've had experiences where I've been doing distance healing with someone, and I have actually been, it's like I'm in the room with them. But again, it's not something that I've really practiced as remote viewing, but as Irakli said, it's used by all the national defenses of every country have through both world wars used remote viewers. So it's certainly it's a thing.
It's a thing. Okay, I don't have any of the questions, so go ahead, Irakli.
I said it was a tool. It's a tool. It's definitely a tool. But like, you know what that was from Michelle, right? She's in a stage of breaking down her belief systems where we think reality is one way, and then we start seeing different things that fascinate us, and then little by little your belief system get replaced by a stronger, different belief system which says this is a magical world, and then you transform, and then your reality changes and your perception changes, and then magical things start happening around you and you become a Jedi. Yeah. So, and then you can remote view.
What's the next question, Irakli?
Okay. Next question. So George D, right, Julie? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard there are different types of star seeds. Can any describe the differences? Joanne, differences between the star seeds?
Well, again, that would take hours, and I don't have a lot of knowledge on it. And the reason we can't really, it's kind of like, even in Canada alone, if just across the continent, there's multiple cultures, there's multiple races, there's multiple religious groups. So we could talk about to that for hours. Now, once you go out to outside of our planet into the universe, there's so many planets, we have no clue how many. So it's kind of difficult to talk to it because how vast it is and how limited our knowledge is. However, this I can say, everyone here tonight, this is what Spirit telling me, everyone here tonight has had a lifetime or multiple lifetime on other planets as other spiritual beings in whatever that, what we would call a race or ethnic group or whatever it is. We have all had that experience. It is very real because if, and I know nobody here does, but a lot of people don't think that there's life outside of this planet. Well, time for reality check.
Big time.
It is so much bigger than that. If we can talk to dead people, well, where the heck are they? Another realm. So outside of our physical that we have in our 3D world, there's multiple realms. Go outside of the planet, it gets more and more and more. So that's all I can speak to that. Again, that you could speak for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, just like we could just about the different things in Canada. Go ahead, Franklin. You might have a little more.
Oh, I got some. Okay. Man, you just triggered so many other things I want to talk about, Joanne. So maybe I should just stick to the topic. Life is everywhere. Everywhere. It's everywhere. Life. That's what all of this is life. The planets are alive too. The planets are alive. They have they're conscious life beings. Huh? You think about that. The different types of star seeds. Okay, I'll tell you my take on it. My take on it is this. If you're trying to figure out who you are, if you're trying to figure out where you come from, for example, maybe. When I remember, ever since I've been conscious, ever since it's 3 years old, whatever, I've always felt like every time I look up in the sky and I'm like, I really want to know what's there. I want to know. I know there's something I don't know, but I like, it's just there's a pull. There's a pull. And throughout my childhood growing up, I remember looking in the skies and being pulled there and then not having the information and then having to get upset and just change the topic in my head. And what was I going with that? Yeah. I think you can look at different star seeds with their purpose, their mission on this planet. Certain star seeds are more sensitive. Other ones are more something else. If you ever seen any superhero shows or whatever, that's all kind of based on reality because there are different types of people with different types of roles that they play on this planet. Don't think that it's a movie. Don't think Star Trek's a movie and it's based on just imagination and stuff. Maybe it's not quite like that. It's not quite depicted like that. Things are added and taken away, but magical world. Anyway, sorry.
I think that's what I was kind of alluding to. I think it was the different levels, not
everyone's got
like
different skills.
Some sensitivity or knowledge or something like that. So I just wanted to expand on it. I think that was
Check it out.
on YouTube. Yeah.
When I did my past life regression, I channeled a nearby galaxy, the name of a nearby galaxy, and I had no idea what it was consciously, and then I looked it up, and then kind of led me to something. So it's inside of you, the answer, man.
Julie?
Yeah, I mean, Pleiadians are, I think one of the most people who, if you have any knowledge of star seeds, the Pleiadians, most people have heard of them. And I think that's also, and I'm just getting the goosebumps now, I think a lot of the light workers that are here at this time are Palladian star seeds and who also had lives on Atlantis. I've noticed there seems to be a connection between Atlantis lives and the Palladians. The one resource I would, if you don't know Rebecca Campbell, she has information on the star seeds and different, I have 2 of her divination decks that are based on the star seeds. But one thing I just know this, so I'm accepting that it's information that's come from spirit, from source, is that like all star seeds are light workers, all light workers are star seeds. So.
Yeah. I'd like to add to this. I'd like to point this. Check out. So right now we are going through a very, 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 very unique transitional time in space, in existence. It is a transition from one age to the other age, and which it happens every 2000 and something years. So the last time we experienced the transition, the planet, just like we transition from Cancer to Leo to Virgo, you know, there's a bigger cycle that the planet is on. And the last time it happened was the arrival of Jesus. Okay. Now we're stepping into a different age. We're stepping into the age of Pisces. The previous, not Pisces, February. Who's in February? Aquarius. Thank you. The previous, what we're just leaving, was all about, I think it was the Pisces. It was all about secrets and withholding of information and stuff like that. The new age that we're rolling into is all about technology. It's all about the collective. It's all about open information. That's why things are being blown apart. That's why people are becoming aware. That's why things are coming into light. This is all actually cycles that on a massive scale. It's a big scale cycle. Everything goes in cycles, right? So there's so much digging that can be done, and this is something that has to be done on an individual basis for your growth. You know, as you grow, just trust those questions that pop up and investigate.
Okay, so let's close her down. It's been the hour. We'll close on time for a change. That's good. So, Irakli, Julie, thank you for being on the panel tonight. Thank you, everybody else, for coming and participating and with your questions and challenging us. We had some we just couldn't answer tonight, and that's okay. You know, we don't know it all, but it was our pleasure to be here and to answer what we could and to provide, I guess, enlightenment and guidance to our understanding. So thank you, everybody, and we'll hope to see you. Yeah, okay, I'll stay, Irakli. Okay, so namaste, everybody. All right. Or Irakli, I could just phone you. Yeah, let's phone because this is being live streamed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.